What's up, everyone? I hope you guys can hear me. I'm going to go live here into Twitter, into YouTube. I have a message to share with you guys regarding Ohio State University and just a life lesson that maybe we can all take into consideration here. Now, the football season's over, but it's something that I love. This is why Ohio State and just sports in general, this is why I love them, because they teach us so many things, okay? For any Buckeyes fans that are on there, let me know if you're joining this stream. Let me know who you are, where you're from. Put a comment in here. If you're on YouTube or Twitter currently, just let me know. I'm gonna keep this quick, but just have to share this with you guys. So I'm gonna pin this. Okay. A couple years ago, if you guys recall, Ohio State was trying to fight for a college football playoff spot. They ended up losing to Iowa pretty badly, right? They get destroyed by Iowa. And while they got destroyed by Iowa, there was a clip after that game of Billy Price, lineman, goes into the locker room. Everyone's down on themselves. They got absolutely throttled by Iowa, okay? Billy Price says, gather around right here. And he goes, everything we want to play for is still right in front of us. He goes, I'm going to go get one of those big rings. He goes, I'm going to get me a big ring. And he said, long live the brotherhood for this moment. Long live the brotherhood. And they ended up going and winning a Big Ten title that year. They fought for it, but they didn't end up making the college football playoff, I don't believe. But they ended up fighting for it, and they ended up going. Why? Because they stayed together. So many times the coaches at Ohio State University have been shown in the locker room saying, hey, these coaches, these players, we're in a fight. It's a street fight. Swing as hard as you can, man. That's what they tell everybody. Swing as hard as you can. And you've heard Ryan Day say it as well. No matter what happens, whatever the score is, whatever happens in this game, you stay together. Don't allow yourselves to get in the noise. You stay together. So this year, it was interesting because Ohio State was going through a crazy, unprecedented season with all the crap that they had to go through and deal with. And they're handling all that jazz, right? COVID issues. They stayed together. People were out with COVID. People, their season was getting canceled. Things were weird. Everything was up in the air. A lot of noise on the outside. But they stayed together. And you heard Ryan Day say that against Clemson, too, before they took him out of the locker room. Hey, just stay together. And last night, it's always easy to say that when you're winning, right? When you're winning, things are easy to stay together and easy to keep unity. When everyone's grand, everything's great, and you stay together, right? But last night, they were getting throttled. They were sticking with Bama for the first quarter and a half. And they were going touchdown for touchdown. And they were about to do it again and tie the game at 21. But they ended up settling for a field goal, and that's exactly what you couldn't do against Bama. You had to go for a touchdown. You can't go field goals for touchdowns. You've got to score touchdowns because Bama is that electric. And we saw that last night. And as they started to get down, Bama's putting these big drives together. They're running down their throats. You're not looking, and they're exploiting Ohio State's defense, right? It's the stuff that Ohio State fans already knew was coming. If you couldn't do the quarterback, you knew if you left your secondary out there to dry against Devontae Smith and Waddle's out there with one leg going out there and moving. If you leave them out there to dry, they were going to get picked apart. And that's exactly what happened. But they didn't play the victim game. They could have easily made some excuses. Oh, we've got two defensive linemen out with COVID. They're the ones who got to the quarterback against Clemson. Our starting running back went out first play of the game. Blah, 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 blah. All these things that you would say, like, hey, obviously they could have an impact on the game. They didn't do that. They stayed together. You didn't see them point and blame, this and that. They're trying to help each other out. They knew what they were up against, but they stayed together. Guys, listen, in today's world, this climate that we're in, this is the most important concept I think sports can teach us, right? There's teamwork, there's brotherhood, there's bonding. But, we've got people of different races, religions, political affiliations. Everyone disagrees, and you're seeing family members, friends, coworkers, they're turning against each other. They're turning against each other because of all this stuff. That is the last thing you can do. That's the last thing you can do. It's an uneducated thing to do, is to turn against somebody because of their opinion. I've seen it in sports. People hate a team that somebody else likes, and they end up losing a friendship over it. It's the stupidest thing. What can you do? In this analogy, in this world, we, the people of this country, we are the coaches and the players. We are in a fight. We are in a street fight. We have to swing as hard as we can. We have to stay together. It's easier said than done, obviously. But that's the thing I love about Ohio State. I look at it more. It's a deeper analysis than just saying X's and O's. I love this program. I love it. I mean, obviously they were disappointed that they lost last night. There was a lot of things they could have said that were excuses, but they didn't. They did not play the victim mentality. They didn't play that victim card. They kept moving forward. They kept their chins up. They tried to keep each other accountable. They stayed together. Win or lose, you go down swinging. And that's something that I just think that I want to share with you guys, a message that's been on my mind all day because of that. They are a great program to model after. I mean, obviously they didn't win. Bama was the better team. That's cool. I mean, that's awesome. Hats off to Bama. They played phenomenal. But the team stayed together. And that's what I think we should all remember. All of us, we've got to stay together. Political affiliation, race, religion, it doesn't matter, dude. We, the people, have to stay together in some form or fashion. Show love for one another. Pick each other up instead of shooting each other down. We're family members. We're friends. If you can't figure out how to articulate a kind thought to the individual because they have a differing opinion, that's a beautiful thing about being human beings, by the way. We have differing opinions. If not, everybody would be cookie cutter. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. You have different opinions. However, the way you articulate certain opinions can have a detrimental impact on relationships. Don't do that. Come out here and stay together and be unified. You don't have to ruin relationships because you don't think the same way I do. You voted for so-and-so and I voted for so-and-so, or you are a certain religion and I'm not, or whatever it may be. You can have differing opinions on things, but stay together. It doesn't mean you've got to ruin relationships and whatnot. Pray to love those people. And if you're not the praying type, you're not a religious type, totally cool. Just feel that love for somebody else. That's all I got to say. Like, come on now. We've got to stay together. It's a lesson that sports can teach us. That's why I don't feel that athletes are dumb jocks. There's a lot of life lessons that you can learn through sports. And just wanted to share that with you today.